Alright, what's good fam? It's your boy Matt and we're back with another video. Now this video is, actually I filmed it like maybe 3 times. It's a video I want to talk about coilovers on a 328 and I actually have some footage from where I install it. I'm gonna have some quick footage here right now. So basically what happened is that on the first time, the camera was flipped vertical or something like that. So footage was ruined. Second time I used a GoPro and the footage was actually pretty good. But when I was doing the front coilover, I kept filming only here. So kind of messy. So I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna jack up the car. I'm gonna remove my tires. I'm gonna show you how you can mount the coilovers on your car. And I'm going to tell you about some of the mistakes I've made and some things that you should consider. Alright, so background story first. I got coilovers because when I was doing drifting, I've always had to go all out and, give it all. Go in the corners, but my cars would be kind of cranky. And what happens is that when your suspension is too soft and too cranky, when you let go of the gas, it wants to straighten out, which means you lose angle. So in other words, I had to always, be at it. And it was difficult for me to just, let's say I wanted to have an angle and this glide and then continue with more angle. Now I have to work a lot with handbrake and the throttle. But there's better ways to do this, and it's easier for me to initiate with maybe like a flick or something if I have a stiffer suspension. A friend of mine recommended me max speeding rod coilovers, which I ordered through Sweden from Germany. I got them within 4 days. It was like $250 or something like that. Really cheap in my opinion. You can adjust the height and the stiffness. That's awesome. Alright, so I'm going to show you how it's done. Alright, so I'm going to show you the rear first. This is a middle axle from a 320. A guy wanted to buy one before, but he found another one that wasn't fast enough. Anyways, if I want to buy this one's like 250 kroner. Me and Hunter's parting out the car over there. It's a lot of fun. We should make a video about that. How you can make money from buying broken BMWs. Anyways, so right down here is the diff. And what I usually do is that I take my car jack and I will jack on that point. And thanks to this wonderful lamp, you're able to see pretty much where I'm gonna jack it. It's on that thing on the differential. So let's use the jack. Alright, so the car is jacked up currently. Had to move the jack further in the middle. So now I'm going to use this ratchet gun, which still has battery, to take off the wheel. Alright, so here it is. This is the new shock absorber, and this is the new coil spring for my coilovers. This is the max speeding rod. They have pretty neat color. Alright, so changing rear suspension here on your BMW E36, E46 and so on is pretty straightforward actually. You have on the shock absorber three bolts. You have one here, which goes in here. You can see that one. And you have these two that goes on the inside. You can see there. A better view of that one. And basically, once you let go of that bolt, this whole thing will fall down. That's why I wanted to demonstrate that when you're about to remove this one, because when I do it, I always remove this one first. Some people want to do the other way. If you do the other way, I guess it's the same way of doing it, but you should put your jack beneath here. Alright, so then you remove the bolt and this one will still be the same height, but this one will try to fall down. But since you have it under this one as well, then it's gonna stay there. So what happens is that you let it down, and you can take out the spring. That's basically how you remove the suspension in the rear on a BMW. Now when you have coilovers on the spring, you usually have this one, and this is basically a tool to adjust height. This is just, this metal ring is just to make sure that this doesn't get scraped. With this one, you're able to spin it, and as you can see, it's coming further and further apart. This one will be to the feather or the spring coil, and this one will be to the car. And the more you screw this one, the bigger the distance will be, which means the car will be higher. This other one on top here is what you use to screw against this other one, so that you lock the height in that position. The reason I don't have it is because the coil spring is not strong enough to hold it in the height that I want my car to have, because there's nothing in here really. That's why I don't use that one. What is this? This is basically how you can adjust how much the car is allowed to raise up before the wheel leaves the air. So how much extra margins you have that this one is pushed in or is being allowed to being let out before this one pulls everything up. And this one is from a friend of mine or acquaintance that's starting to know him. He advised me to have between 30 and 50 millimeters. I chose 30 just because it will be so long. Basically, you can undo this one just like with this one. You can undo it, and you can spin this one as long as you remove some of the pressure. You can spin this one and make it either go apart, which make it higher, or you make it go together, which means it will be lower. Basically, most thing that you should know about the rear suspension. I'm going to put the wheel back, and I'm going to show you what I mean with this adjustment. So as you can see in the wheel tire, in the wheel, now I'm letting it down, it sinks together. Right. So now if I jack it up, you can see that the car is going up before the wheel leaves the ground. This is the pre-spring load, and now it leaves the ground. And why you want this is because if you're going sideways, if you're going on a normal road, but mostly if you're going sideways, you're steering that way, and the ground and the track is not straight, you will only have grip on one tire if they don't fall down. But if they can fall down, they will fall off the ground, and you will have a smooth speed or a smooth traction, which will allow for better drift. I learned it the hard way. I got a really good advice from a friend of mine, the acquaintance of mine, but I wanted to try how it is with low spring load, and it kind of gave me the feeling that I was drifting on one wheel. This is how it looked. So anyways, that's in the rear. Let's go to the front. Alright, so for the front, I'm going to take the car jack and I'm going to put it on the I don't know what you call it in English, but in Swedish called brygga. Let's see if we can find it. It's basically the I'll put the English word for it somewhere here. To start jacking it up, and you see this pre-spring load. Put it down again. Yep. Here in the front, I don't have as much spring load because I have no sway bar, so the car is already moving a lot better, smoother. Alright, so removing and changing the suspension in the front is really straightforward. It is 6 nuts or 6 bolts, and this is how you do it. How I like to start is that I like to always map whatever screws and nuts and bolts that I need to undo. So in this one, I'm going to talk about this in a moment. These are the three main ones that you're going to have if you don't have this one with adjustable camber on your coilover. So 1, 2, 3, these are nuts. And here you have 1, 2, 3. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so the order that I do this is I take these two screws first. This one kind of holds it in place. And what I do after that is I make sure that once I remove this one, this is not going to fall down. So use the car jack. Use it here to keep it all kind of the same level. You will probably have more like ABS sensors and all that stuff. I only have my brake line because I don't have ABS in a drift car. Make sure you have these things in the rear. I put these in the front, and it works in theory, but what will probably happen is it will probably catch in your cable and rip them, and you will crash your car, and please don't do that. So that's basically a crash core. So 1, 2, jack up it, put it under here, remove this one. Now when this one is released from this one, you can slowly put it down a little bit, not too much. Then you let go of these three, and you can just pick it out like this. The way you put it back is just the same way. Just put it back. Remember to have the brake line behind it. So sometimes you would put it from here. You can turn here if it's easier to go that way. I like to attach them up here first. Then I like to do this one, and then I used to do it like in the reverse order. All right, so what is this bad boy here? This one is actually in the back as well. I forgot to show you. This one is where I adjust how stiff it's gonna be, the dampering, how smooth. And right now I'm hardcore. I'm having full on, basically full stiffness. And this is something, it's called camber adjustment, which will help me adjust. Now don't think it will show you. Yeah, you can see how my wheel is standing kind of like this. It will help me self-steer to a point. And also, it's just my wheels are like this. When I turn, one of them is going to stand straight. It might be difficult to grasp right now, but difficult to show you since I'm holding my camera with one hand. So basically these are just Allen keys. I think it's like size 5. You undo these, you can move it to whatever position you think is good for you. Make sure that these goes out to the side, otherwise they kind of lose their purpose. And also put grease here and oil. I do it from time to time, or else it will get stuck in rust and stuff like that. This car is not going to be driven in the winter or something like that, so I think I'm pretty good, but I still use oil there. Any oil, differential oil, gearbox oil, engine oil, whatever unused oil. And that's pretty much it. I don't know any much else to say about changing the coilovers. Big mistakes that you can make is that if you're not careful enough with the front, you can break the brake lines if the center hub falls down, or if you're not careful with removing it from the current shock absorber and so on. So be careful with that one. I think that was the most common mistake. Also take your time. Don't work on cars unless you really have the time and stuff like that. I really hope that I'm gonna be able to put more out vlog-ish content with fixing this car. I would like to. Unfortunately, this summer has been stress, and I rather want to push out driving content, and it just goes the way it goes. But there are some other news about this car, but I'm going to do it in another video. Hopefully my vlog content will not be as bad, so I can just show it in that video. But for now, I hope you're happy. This is how you do coilovers on an E36. Now, I wish you luck. And if you have any question, put them down in the comment box. The music and everything is in the description. I think, yes. Comment, subscribe, like, share the video. Thank you so much for the positive feedback that I've gotten lately. It really means a lot.